Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. Wednesday's DRF Bets Race of the Day is the feature at Del Mar. The $75,000 Harry F. Brubaker Stakes at a mile, a race you can play with a new DRF Bets account. Sign up, get 10 times the sign-up bonus. Head on over to drf.com/bet for all of the details. Let's take a look at this field. You can download free Formulator past performances for the Brubaker at the Race of the Day event page on drf.com. Matt, Bob Baffert has two. When we see Mubtahija's name in the entries, we smell opportunity.
Especially at this point in his career, it just feels like maybe he's lost significantly on his fastball, where at one point in his career, he was a borderline grade 1 caliber horse that could go out there and do some good things. And I know he won the Awesome again last year, but boy, it just feels like things haven't gone the way that they had hoped that they would this year. And you have to wonder, at 6 years old, is he starting to lose a little bit of steam?
He also has competed in graded stakes races or group stakes races in 17 of his last 18 races. He's getting class relief, although in that other non-group race, he lost. That was the Curlin Handicap in 2017. Mubtahij, listen, he's a solid horse. He's made a lot of money. He's getting that class relief, but at times he just lacks the killer instinct to win at a short price. I'm with you. Every time he's in there, I try to beat him because you know he's just going to be a little bit overbet. For the good news for the Baffert barn is if Mubtahij doesn't do it, Dabster might be very well the horse to beat. I mean, Dabster has not come back to the Dabster that beat City of Light at Del Mar last year, but he's only had 2 races off the recent long layoff, one against American Anthem in the San Carlos, where I was a little bit disappointed despite the layoff, and last time out, he wasn't beating Catalina Cruiser. Not too many were beating Catalina Cruiser that day.
No, and that's the thing. I think you need to look at that race and make a little bit of a call on it right now, because you're going to see Catalina Cruiser next weekend in the Pat O'Brien. You've got Dabster here. 2 horses ran in the Pacific Classic on Saturday, and they didn't run particularly well. You had Dr. Door with an 86, and you had the 4th place finisher earn an 83. So the jury's out as far as to how good that race actually was. But I agree with you. There's a scenario where we still haven't necessarily seen his best. Maybe he's been a little bit disappointing since he returned, but he's still that kind of horse. Only gone out 7 times. He's won at Del Mar. He's run well both times that he's been there. I would expect a pretty good effort from him.
Yeah, I think he's probably the horse to beat if the good Mubtahij doesn't show up. Ike Walker's the number 2. He's the outsider in this race. Won off the Hollendorfer claim. Hollendorfer's been winning everything at Del Mar and did so with pace-pressing tactics. I like those tactics for Ike Walker. As we see with the Timeform US pace projector, there is not expected to be a sharp pace. He's going to be up close, but I've never really thought of this horse as a stakes horse.
No, nor have I. He always feels like he's in that sort of high-level claiming rank, but at the same time, look, you've got Hollendorfer who's rolling along. If you think that there's not going to be a ton of pace signed on, and he's forward, and you can't help but see what his overall record is at Del Mar for his career. He's 5 for 7, 6 times in the exacta. If you don't love the Bafferts, and if you think some of the other horses are a little bit compromised, maybe you take a shot on the longest shot in the race.
Soy Fett, the 10-year-old, just keeps on rolling. He went over the $1 million mark in his most recent start, a game and gutsy win at Los Alamitos in the Bertrando versus Statebreds. He won this race in 2016, 3rd behind the good Cupid in this race last year, and I thought he was just game last time out in the Bertrando. It looked like for a second he was getting outpaced down towards the inside, but he refused to lose, and Grecian Fire and B Squared, they came back to run 2-3 respectively in the Caldreamin on the turf.
Yeah, they both earned 99 buyers, and the 6th place finisher came back and earned a 91. Look, I love that pace scenario for him. If it doesn't look like there's going to anybody else that's going to really go on with it, let the 10-year-old roll. You know he likes Del Mar. You know the distance isn't a problem, and he's sharp and in form, which I suppose you could make a case that, okay, you've got the favorites in here, the more likely and more fancied horses, but they may not be bringing the best form into it. At least you know the 10-year-old boy has still got it.
Grecian Fire, turf to dirt for Jerry Hollendorfer. He does not have the tactical speed of a Soy Fett. Perhaps that cost him at Los Alamitos in the Bertrando 2-back. Maybe it will cost him if that blue bar from Timeform US is correct. But we do have a positive formulator fact for Hollendorfer. Turf to dirt routers in non-graded stakes, 33% winners and a big ROI, $6.50. This 4-year-old, he dances a lot of dances. He seems to be in career form. I think he still is a little bit better on synth and turf, and I'm a little bit worried about the pace setup.
Yeah, the pace is really the thing that bothers me with him, because I can't help but think you're going to get a similar scenario to what you had in that Bertrando, where he's going to be coming from out of the pack. There may not be a ton of pace for him to run at, and the horses that he needs to beat are going to get the jump on him. He's in great form, no question and no denying it. I just think he's probably best used underneath.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Harry F. Brubaker Stakes. Hear me out on the 6 Isotherm, who's going to be probably the second to longest shot on the board. I think he'll take a little bit more money than Ike Walker, and the jury's still out, in my opinion, as to whether Isotherm can run on the dirt. Now, the jury's still out as to whether he can still run at all. That's a big question that I'm going to ask you in a minute, but he's had 3 dirt races. One was his career debut sprinting, which is not his deal. One was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and one was the Big Cap, a race which preceded a very long layoff. And the Big Cap, I thought he did a little bit of running that day. He prompted Midnight Storm, a very fast horse, and he just got ran off his feet. He earned a 93 Beyer speed figure in the Big Cap, which is very competitive with the rest of the horses in this race. He's always trained well on the dirt for Phil D'Amato. He has not come back the same turf horse this year. D'Amato's taken a shot. I don't know, if this race is run like a turf race, and they're kind of in 2 groups, and the pace is not fast, maybe Isotherm kicks him down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the kind of horse where you need to make the call. If you think that there's still some life in the boy, then you know what? You got a chance in here, especially if you can poke holes in both of the Baffords. Maybe you're not sold on a horse like Soy Fett, or even, like you say, we talked about Ike Walker, or even the horse drawn just to the inside of this one. My concern is, can he still run? I have a very, very, I don't want to say a hard time, but I'm really unsure because, boy, ever since he come back from that Big Cap, he just seems to lack that fire that he had. And it really felt like when they got him to Southern California prior to the Big Cap, and when he was running in those turf races, winning the San Marcos, looked like he had turned the corner and he turned into a serious, serious horse. Now I'm just not entirely convinced that he can still do it. But to be honest with you, in a short field, and if you've got concerns or questions about everybody else, I'm never going to sit there and say that this is a crazy pick. You're going to get a big price on a horse that his best race can certainly win.
Let's talk about Soy Fett. You want that pace projector to be right. You want him on the lead, and there's a very good chance he's the 3rd or 4th choice in this race.
Yeah, if he's that 4-1 that he is in the morning line, I think that's very fair. This is a horse, I know he's 10 years old, but clearly he's in great form. Leonard Powell's done a great job handling him. I think whether he's on the lead or you have a horse like Ike Walker or even Dabster, if they show a little bit of the intention early on, he can sit just off and make his move. I just like everything about him right now. And again, I kind of want to fade the Baffert horses.
You got to root for a horse like Soy Fett, 10 years old, still going. Great job by trainer Leonard Powell. You're going with Soy Fett. I'll go with Isotherm. I think Dabster's probably the horse to beat. Mubtaij, if he beats us, he beats us. We've made money off of him beating him in the past. He owes us one. 6-1-3 for me in the Harry F. Brubaker Stakes. It's a race you can play with your own DRF Bets account. You know the drill. 10 times the sign-up bonus. Bet 20, get 200. DRF.com/bet. Approximate post time for the Brubaker on Wednesday, 5 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.